Oh, I think it's hugely relevant. So we know from various Gallup surveys over the past few years that employee engagement is really incredibly low. Only 18% or so of employees worldwide are actively engaged. The rest is either disengaged or really completely checked out. We also know that we generated more than, I think, more than 90% of the world's data has been generated over the past couple of years.
Wow.
But it doesn't seem to give us more meaning, right? So
Mm.
we know we have more information, we generate more information, we maybe have made it more accessible, but we seem to have a crisis of meaning, which is evident in the fact that loneliness is really become sort of an epidemic disease. Experts speak of an age of social isolation, and it all comes back to work because work is the only remaining integrator. It's probably the most important operating system of our lives, right? That's
Mm.
where we meet others. That's where we form our social identity. We spend 75% of our time at work, at least of our waking hours. So who we are at work, what we do at work, how we engage at work is really having a profound impact on our lives if we look back on our lives. So the question is, what are we going to do with that? And the way we are working right now and the way we show up at work, for the most part, is broken, right? And sort of we seem to have hurt our spirit there. And I think what I'm trying to explore is there a part of ourselves that we have just left out of that conversation that is not allowed in at the workplace? So whenever I'm in meeting rooms or I go through cities, I see people, and I see their bodies and I see how they perform and how they function, mostly adhering to the principles of efficiency and productivity. But there's a huge side of ours, right? That what you can see, maybe that what you can't quantify in exact, precise terms, that is not really legitimate, it seems, or it's not allowed in at work. And I think if we tap into that, not only do we make work more human, more fulfilling, healthier, I think, for all of us as humans, but also I think is actually the source of innovation, is actually making companies better in the long term, is making them healthier as cultures, is making them more creative and more innovative. So I think there's sort of it's a double whammy, right? I think it's more human,
Mm.
it's healthier, it's making us happier. At the same time, I really believe, especially with automation and in the age of machines, the only remaining differentiator is to be radically human, which for me means really to be romantic and be very emotional. And that part of ours and how that can be reconciled and brought into the business world, I think that's my mission. And going back to your question, I think that's a conversation that has certainly started in not only with startups and progressive entrepreneurs, but also honestly in the upper echelons of Fortune 500 companies.